Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Listen, I really have to give it to Kiko Milano because every time they come out with a new collection, they don't just come out with an eyeshadow palette and some lip glosses. They come out with pretty much everything that you would need to do a full face within that collection. And frankly, I am here for it. Kiko Milano is just a brand that does a great job at kind of checking all the boxes because their packaging is always beautiful. The products are always good quality. They're not always major hits, but I have liked most of what I've tried from Kiko Milano, and it's all reasonably priced. It's not like Wet n Wild where everything is like $5 or less, but it's also not like Sephora prices. So it's not like dirt cheap, but it's also not going to break the bank. So I really appreciate Kiko Milano for those reasons. So let's get started. Oh, also subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Thanks. Here we go. So I have here the Kiko Milano Lost in Amalfi Maxi eyeshadow palette. I am really excited for this one because it looks really cool. So let's get it out. Look at that compact. So normally they like wrap this tissue around it and just a little bit shoved in there, but that's okay. Isn't that neat? I mean, it's a little bit concerning just because the pans are so close together and a little bit oddly shaped. It might, you might have some cross-contamination happening, but I do have to kind of give them props for not just doing like a standard round pan or square pan 9-pan palette, definitely different. But I also have this Lost in Amalfi Metal Chrome eyeshadow in the shade 02 Dewy Rose. Woo! So we're probably gonna have to bust that out on the lid, but we'll first go in with the eyeshadow palette. You know what? I'm gonna swatch the eyeshadow palette first. That's what we're gonna do first. So I don't know if these shadows have names. Frankly, I don't really care. Oh my gosh, those two shimmers are so nice. Okay, so you can already kind of see that cross-contamination happening. I swatched this brown shadow and it got over onto that one. So not the most foolproof design, but these shadows are pretty cute so far, right? Okay, last three. Wonderful. So there it is. That's cute. I like that. I do want to swatch this little metal chrome thing too. I guess I'll just stick my finger in it. Ooh, it feels really nice and silky. That's kind of nifty. Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to see if we can't incorporate that one. I'm gonna start with this red one. Cool. Okay, nice. Not the most pigmented shadow in the world, but it blended fine. Not mad about it. Okay, then I am still gonna go into this kind of purple burgundy type of shade. Not bad. Not bad at all. Say hi, Max. I'm cat sitting right now for this little kitten. He's quite annoying and I'm ready for him to go home. But he's a cutie. And he keeps jumping up on me while I'm trying to do my makeup. Ow! Hey. Anywho, I think that worked out quite well. These shadows are really blendable. Ow! Stop, Max. Not overly pigmented, so they're pretty easy to work with. I like it. Now, I think that I will take my little pot metal chrome shadow and put it over most of what's left of my lid. Nice. So you really don't need a lot of this. I had to like put some on my other lid while I kept spreading the rest of it out because I had too much on my brush. I'm gonna take a little bit of this kind of bronzy shimmer shade and see if I can use it to kind of blend this out over here. finally, because I just cannot resist a bright white shimmer, I'm gonna take a little bit of this white shimmer, but I do want to just put some of it on the inner corner. Okay, cool. I like that. So now I have the Kiko Milano Lost in Amalfi Core Stylo Concealer. This one is a little bit different for me. I've seen concealers like this before, but I've never actually used a concealer like this. So wonderful, nice feeling packaging from Kiko Milano. We love Kiko Milano packaging. So, okay, I got the shade 01, just 01. I think it's supposed to be the lightest, but it looks kind of dark. Well, maybe not too bad. But then it's one of those that has like that thing in the center of it. I'm gonna swatch it on my hand because I kind of want to see what that does. It does nothing, essentially, is what I'm getting. That does not look like a good shade of concealer for me though, so I was thinking maybe I would do my concealer first, but I'm just gonna do what I normally do, which is my foundation first. So I'm gonna go in with the Lost in Amalfi Lightweight Velvet Foundation. I got the shade 02 Porcelain. I wish that they had better shade options and better shade descriptions, I will say. That is something that I think Kiko Milano could improve on. Okay, this is a cute little bottle. It's really tiny. It's actually quite small. 0.84 fluid ounces, which is standard for Kiko Milano foundations. I'm pretty sure all my foundations that I have from them are 0.84 fluid ounces. So I think this is supposed to be like a velvet matte foundation, maybe like a soft matte type of thing. We're just gonna dive in. I'm not even gonna worry too much about it. All right, very loose, wet, runny formula. This foundation has a familiar smell, but I can't quite place it. Maybe it just smells like makeup. I don't know. Okay, not a ton of coverage. This formula is not the easiest to blend, I'm finding. Like, it's blending out. It just is taking a little bit more effort than some of their other foundations I've tried. I don't like the way it smells, I'm deciding. I don't love it. I wish I could describe what it smells like, but like I said, I just can't quite place it. I don't know what that smell is. I'm not like super impressed or blown away right off the bat, but of course with foundation, we gotta see how it wears. All right, let's come back to our little Core Stylo Concealer. That is allegedly the lightest shade that they make of this, which is not that light. So I have a feeling it's even gonna be darker than my foundation, but we're gonna do the thing. Give it a go. Nyeh. I don't know that this is something I would reach for over some of my better concealers that are like kind of your standard with the wand type of formula. But it's not bad. It blended out pretty good, and yeah, so we'll see. Because I like to kind of quickly, yeah, it doesn't quite have as much coverage as I would like it to. Anyways, because I like to quickly set my concealer right after I apply it, I'm gonna go ahead and pull out this finishing powder that I have from Kiko Milano. Once again, beautiful packaging, beautiful compact, very standard Kiko Milano type of a compact. I was kind of hoping this would be like my Tuscan Sunshine powder. It looks a little bit more like a standard kind of, yeah, it's just sort of like a normal powder, but it feels very light and soft. Make sure my concealer is good, and we'll go ahead and set. I don't understand how they can call this their lightest shade. Okay, I think I would like more coverage than what this concealer is giving me. But I'm actually, I don't know, I kind of like it. It blended out nicely, and it's sitting very light and smooth under my eyes. I do need to grab my other concealer though. Okay, wonderful. We are looking quite matte and locked in at the moment. Next Kiko Milano product, which is the Lost in Amalfi Bronzer and Highlighter Duo. The shade for this bronzer looked a little light online, so I'm kind of nervous about it. Ooh. Doesn't look like my best shade ever. Again, I like the thinking behind the design of the pan. Not super functional in my mind. The brush that I normally use for bronzer, that would be tough to not get any highlighter. So I'm gonna use something a little bit smaller today, and we're gonna hope that this shade looks okay on me. The highlighter looks promising, but what is a face without bronzer? Am I right? Am I right? Okay, I'm not mad about that. It is a little warm of a shade. Bronzers are supposed to warm up your face, but I don't like super warm bronzers because I'm high maintenance like that, but it's not super pigmented. It built up really well on that other side of my face. Boop. Now let's check out the highlighter side of it. Luckily, I never used too big of a brush for highlighter. Ooh, I like it. Oh, that's pretty nice, huh? Cute. Let me finish my eyes real quick and we'll be back for the last two products. So my lash glue is still drying, but I need to go ahead and do these last two products, so please find it in your heart to forgive me for that. Okay, so I also have this Kiko Milano Lost in Amalfi Fill and Brush Eyebrow. Now, I normally go for something a little bit more precise than this one, but because it was part of the collection and it's got one of these little types of brushes, which I've been wanting to try, I figured I would give it a go. And I've never tried any brow products from Kiko Milano before, so we're gonna check it out. We're gonna check it out. Okay, I got the shade 03. 03. That's all the information I can find on it, so I don't really do much to my eyebrows anyways. I just kind of fill them in. Not quite my color, but it's not bad. Oh, yeah, definitely not a good shade for me. Yikes. Where's my, help me color pop. Okay, I feel like my brows are looking like a hot freaking mess now, but I don't have much time to continue messing with it, unfortunately. Finally, I have the Lost in Amalfi Lasting Matte Lip Color. I got the shade 08. It doesn't say, like, I'm pretty sure they have names, but it's just not saying on the packaging. Ooh, looks pretty. Okay, a little deeper than what I normally go for, and this formula dries down really quickly. So not the easiest formula to work with, but I like the color. I think it looks good. Be back. Okay, so I hopped off, went to class, ate some lunch, reapplied my lipstick, and came back. So everything's actually been on now for probably like 4 or 5 hours at this point. I just kind of ran out of time while I was getting ready to finish recording everything I needed to record. Everything looks really good so far. I gotta be honest, I wasn't super optimistic about this foundation, but it actually looks good. Jesus Christ. My eyeshadow looks really nice, I think. Let me give you a taste close up. Anywho, I will be back at the end of the day, so in about 5-6 more hours, and we'll check up on everything else, and I will give you my final thoughts on this Lost in Amalfi collection. See you soon. Okay, so I know that I said that I was gonna check in at the end of that day where you just saw me a moment ago, but not only that day, but that whole week ended up being like the longest ever. I don't know, I had a lot to do and I was really busy, And particularly that day, which was only like 2 days ago, I ended up having my makeup on for like 14 hours. Like, I didn't get home until like 10 p.m. I like checked everything out in the mirror and then just immediately took it all off. I was like, I did not have the energy to check in, but I did make sure to note how the makeup wore through that extra long day. So I'm just gonna kind of quickly go through and let you know my final thoughts on each product. So the compact eyeshadow palette, as well as the metal chrome eyeshadow, which I put away so I don't have it right here, both A+, 100% approved. I really loved my eye makeup that day, and the shadows. Anyways, I loved my look that day. The shadows wore really, really well, so love this. The bronzer highlighter duo, both are good products, so good formulas. The bronzer's not overly pigmented, but it builds and it blends, so it's a good formula. The shade is just not my shade. The highlighter was really beautiful though, so a good product, just not really a good shade for me personally. The matte lipstick, very dry, fast drying down matte formula, and it didn't really wear that well. I found that like after I ate or after I had just had it on for a long time, whenever I would look back in the mirror, it was kind of like a little bit patchy on my mouth, and it just didn't wear that great. So I like the shade, I just am not crazy about the formula, so I'd give this like a B-. This brow product, you guys, unfortunately was not the business. To be fair, I knew going into it that this wasn't really my style of brow pencil. I like a more precise brow pencil. The shade really did not work for my eyebrows at all, and the formula of this, it's a little waxy to where when I went to buff it out, because I kind of like to fill in and then buff it out a little bit with normally a spoolie, that just kind of helps to give it a little bit of more like hair-like look. Does that make sense? So when I went to buff it out though, it didn't really buff out, it just kind of moved. So it ended up making a big mess. A little brush on the end, which honestly was a big part of what drew me to this one. The brush isn't bad, it's cute, but I think I still just prefer a spoolie. You can sort of buff out your brows the way that I was talking about, and then of course brush the hairs. But it just, it's like so densely packed that it kind of will like make patches of the brow product go away, if that makes sense. So anyways, I just prefer my normal type of brow pencil, which is a precise ashy brown with a spoolie on the other end. This is like a warm brown with a weird thing on the end, waxy formula. So I would give this brow product like a C-. I really didn't like it. Then we have our face products. So the foundation actually wore really, really well. It was kind of one of those where right after I first put it on and powdered and everything, it just looked kind of dry and it looked like it was gonna settle and collect a little bit, but it actually ended up staying with me throughout the whole day. Like I said, I wore it for like 14 hours and it held up. I mean, I didn't touch up at all throughout the day, so by the end of it, I was kind of shiny, but I didn't touch up at all and it wasn't like melting off my face after 14 hours. It actually held up really, really well. Whenever I initially apply it, I don't like it because I don't really like the way it smells, and then it looks a little funny to me, but then it wears really, really well. So I'm gonna keep messing with it and see if I can come to tolerate that initial application part of it, because it is a good foundation. The concealer, 100% not a good shade for me. The formula is actually really nice. It's not as full coverage as I would like it to be, but the formula blends out under the eyes. It sits very light and smooth, and it didn't crease. Like I said, I wore my makeup for an abnormally long period of time that day in particular, so by the end of the day, the concealer was kind of starting to like wear off a little bit. It didn't look patchy and it didn't crease, but I could definitely tell that like product was like leaving my face, basically, if that makes sense. So it's a good formula, not a ton of coverage, not my shade. And then finally, the Lost in Amalfi finishing powder. I actually really quite like this powder. There's nothing particularly remarkable about this powder. I mean, I've talked about this one before, but this is also from Kiko Milano. This is their Tuscan Sunshine powder. This powder is very unique. I don't have any other powders that are quite like it. This one's kind of just a normal light mattifying type of setting powder, but it's actually a really nice formula. It's light, it's soft. So I definitely see myself using it more. It's just not anything that's like way special. Like my Tuscan Sunshine one is like my life. I love it so much. Not my favorite collection from Kiko Milano as of yet. I think I still like my Tuscan Sunshine products the most out of all of the collections that I've tried, but there were definitely some winners. I love the eyeshadow palette. So anyways, Kiko Milano has another Holiday Gems collection that's going to be coming available in the US soon. So if you want to see a video with that stuff, I've been thinking about getting some products from that collection, so definitely let me know. If you like this video, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!